Hi, Maeva.
Hi,
How are you?
good, and you?
Good, thank you.
Is the baby asleep?
The baby is eating with the father.
Okay, all right. She's down for her afternoon nap, so I'm very,
Yes,
you know,
he's gonna be napping soon as well. So this was perfect timing. Thank you for accommodating.
I'm glad it worked. It looks beautiful where you are. You,
Yes, yes, we were able to escape to Long Island a few days for my family to visit because we haven't seen them in a long time. So
Mhm.
my brother has also a small toddler, uh, 2.5 years. So they
Perfect.
were not really familiar because they've been apart for so long. So it's been super nice to be able to have them uh, share a lot of nice, like, daily moments.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, I think both our children are like pandemic babies, right? Where they haven't
Yeah.
seen a lot of people. And
Yes, exactly.
I was saying earlier, Sasha's birthday is tomorrow or Sunday?
Sasha birthday is tomorrow. Actually, it's tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's
tomorrow.
awesome.
Yeah, it was two
Amazing.
years ago. Yeah, two
It
years
seems
ago.
like a long time ago, but at the same time, it seems like it's still very present, right?
Yes, it's no, it's when you think about everything that you've like gone through, like it's a lot, but the time flies. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been really, I look at COVID and all the time that we had, like, on a very positive note because we were able to manage to be with our kids and
Yeah.
and know a lot of situations and really like that time of being learning how to be a mother and having to stay at home and there was like a massive like obligation. So it was less guilt, I would say.
Yeah. That's
less
very,
less guilt and a lot of like patience and and learnings because it was definitely not easy.
mm-mm, for sure. Yeah. As I was thinking about you recently, I spoke with Maria. That was your doula, Maria Dongon.
Oh
We
yes.
spoke about things, and I thought I would reach out and then have you talk a little bit about, hypnobirthing and how your whole approach was. And
Yeah, yeah, Maria was really like super helpful, and she was like a real important part of my whole journey because my family is not in New York, so I had a lot of like responsibility of how I wanted to birth, and it was I'm very I'm very business oriented, so I did also a couple of like not like treating it as a business, but kind of understanding what was going to make me more calmer and
yeah, I mean, I can see you came with a very practical approach.
yes, very. I'm very practical in general because New York is a city where you have to be practical if you want to be able to manage and have multiple roles. And I do have multiple roles at home. I have, I have to, maintaining a home
Mm-hmm.
and having a home it takes time. Work, it's something that obviously takes a lot of times of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Motherhood, partnership, friends. So it's a lot. So you want to do it all. I felt that was the only or the smartest way to kind of navigate being smart and being informed and being able to control as much as I could, being in a situation that you cannot really control. So it
Right.
was it was a lot of self, convincing and kind of repeating ourselves that it was going to be fine and visualizing. And I
Yeah,
think,
which, it's interesting because I think a lot of people, they think hypnobirthing is a little bit like woo-hoo.
yeah,
But like the way I always approach things is in a very practical way. So thank you for bringing this up. I think it can help people understand that we give you like concrete tools, right? You have things to do. It's not just one class, right?
yeah, no, it's a lot. It's like it really, for me was a very it was a very important time to connect with myself and really understand that like every step of of the stages, and I was very lucky. I had a very nice pregnancy, but I did not gave myself a choice, you know? Like I was only programmed to have an amazing pregnancy, and if I was going to have a nausea or I was going to be feeling sick, which I didn't, I was going to find ways to managing it, you know, and it was going to be a fun ride for me, and it was something that I was completely determined before, and my husband travels a lot, so you know I was going to be alone in a lot of moments, and I had to program myself that that was not gonna be affect anything emotional, because it was just how life was, and I was gonna be have to learn how to do it, and I had to make the best out of it. So it's a lot of self work, and Hypnobirth was a real really important tool for me to be able to have that control and that confidence while I was birthing, uh, going through, even though you have guidance from your doctors, and I had a doula, I had all the external things that I thought will complement my experience, where I could help myself having the best of all experiences. So not only by recommendation of the doctors, I had to go to the hospital a few days before to kind of know my way out, but I would also visualize, like my safe place, and when I was walking into the hospital, and how I was going to be able to
So how did your labor start then? Was it before the due date, or like you had to go in for something, or?
No, I actually went. I just went because it was Memorial Day weekend, where, so I had Monday gonna be it was gonna be a holiday, so I was nervous because my last appointment was on Friday, and that day when they did my routine appointment, which was once a week already, the doctor, I had a very very young doctor, and she looked very young, so a new one for me. So she was like, I don't like the size of the stomach of the baby, and you being a first mother, not like not knowing anything, being pregnant, the hormones being crazy, like that's like the worst thing to hear, right?
And is
So
it the first time you heard that during the pregnancy?
yeah, yeah, I was the first. I'm very little, so my I was not like I ate well. I did exercise my whole pregnancy. Did yoga. I walked a lot. I worked every single day because I felt well. I
Yeah,
was not.
right.
I slept well until the very last 3 days. 3 days before, 2 days before, and
Must have been really surprising to hear that from the doctor. How did that feel?
it was very, I was nervous. I was just nervous. So we walked out of the doctor's appointment, and I told Jose, my husband, I mean, I don't feel well. I think we should definitely um try to like have like understand what was the meaning, because I understand that there's a lot of liabilities, and every time like the doctors are trying to protect themselves, and their terms are not really uh, amicable, and I don't know if it's
Yes.
okay, but you know in 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 all respect for doctors, they do an amazing job at their professions, and they just have to do, and there's the protocols, and obviously there's less emotions because they have to do that every day, right?
Right.
So like they're the diagnose. So when you're like washer machine going, not working well, so maybe something's going wrong, but not necessarily has to be wrong, so it's just a very broad open like thing, and being and having the birth so closed, and I had Monday was a holiday, and everything was going to be closed, so I went back again and called the nurses, and I was nervous, and then I called my doula, and she was like, listen, don't worry, it's going to be fine, everything's going to be well. I did also acupuncture.
Okay.
And so I had a session of acupuncture that weekend, and I felt a lot of contractions, but it was supposed to be that way. And I started labor like the night before my due date.
Oh,
So
so
it was
like they recommended an induction because of the baby's stomach size, but you got into labor like right before on your own.
they wanted
That's
to
amazing.
look at what was happening. And I went to the hospital the day before, and I had started having Braxton kicks, uh, which it was like uh, new for me, but it was kind of like a preparation.
Mm-hmm.
No pain at all. My mucus plug came out like 2 days before,
Okay,
and
so
I
yeah, you were ready. It was gonna
yeah
happen anyway. Yeah.
yeah, like I was very ready, and I had a lot of like other sources. I had you, I had Maria, my doula. I had like like good sources where like that gave me calmer, like
Mm-hmm.
it is like more like that's normal. Once you get your mucus plug out, there can be like a week after, before giving birth. Same thing for the water break. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was asking how I wanted to be at home the most time I could, because I did not want it to be have to be no, I didn't want it to be rushed. I did not
Right.
want any pitocin. I did not want it
Mm-hmm.
in. So I wanted to be comfortable at home as much as I could. But I wanted to have enough time to get there.
Right.
And
Like the perfect timing, right?
exactly. So I told Maria, that my doula, like I want to have the options of having options and having a, whatever can go wrong. I have like a plan. And so I was very business oriented when having all this, but at the same time, it was not all like you know medical or factual. I
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of peace of mind, and what like going with my instinct on what make me feel safe and confident and knowledgeable, because when you know what you're going through and what are the steps of what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to take, you're prepared, so what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then, like, how far away were you from the hospital?
uh no, it was 15 minutes, and we were like I was labored. I went to labor at like I started labor at 9 p.m. on the 28th, May 28th, and I tried to go to bed. I would try to go to bed to sleep for a few hours. The contractions were already too strong. So I was kind of craving like cold, like like the
Uh-huh. So, like, the
bed.
shower was not gonna.
Yeah, like so I went to my bathroom, and I just laid in the bath, like I lay like a like a
On the
like a
floor. Mhm.
pillow, like a towel, and I laid there, and I started like breathing and doing like yoga positions that would help me, like when like just the contractions. And that same day, I had downloaded like an application to count the contractions, to kind of understand what was the timing. So I started like recording them and kind of entering the data so I can get closer to that. At 1 a.m., I called Maria, my doula, and I told her, listen, I think things are getting stronger now, and I think I have to, you have to come here, because I think it's, I don't think this is.
This is gonna stop.
So I went. I think I went into the shower with my yoga ball and trying to breathe, and with all
The
the
visualizations and.
breathing techniques that you taught me. I had very present the three ways of breathing,
Mhm.
while we were having the different stages, and I truly believe in them. I was I think it was part of the whole thing, that I was really convinced that was gonna help. And we stayed at home until 6 a.m. 6 a.m. I broke
Okay.
water at 6 a.m. And when I broke water, yeah, I said, my doula said, I think it's time for us to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital at 6 a.m. We knew our way already to get to where we needed to go.
At this point, like, do you remember like how far apart your waves were, or how far apart the contractions were, or?
3 minutes, no, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay, so you were like in the thick of it. Okay, that's amazing.
It was, yeah. We went. I was sleeping between like the contractions at the beginning because I was so tired. Like I was super drained. Like my fear at that moment was like, I am so tired. I'm not gonna be able to put all my focus and energy in giving birth.
Right.
So I un besito, un besito, un besito. Mwah. Ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Hello.
Ciao,
Hi,
ciao.
Tasha.
So I told my doula, like, listen, I am just very, very fearful that I'm going to not being able to push. So she said, you need to sleep. I'm like, what do you mean sleeping? It was like 3 a.m. She's like, yeah, like we are not even far from leaving the house. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is so painful. And she's like, come to the bed. My mother was there. Jose, my husband, had already left like the bedroom. He wasn't in the couch, kind of getting some sleep. Somebody had to sleep,
Yeah, of course.
after. So I was in bed, in bed, kind of trying to sleep between contractions, and it helped. At 6 a.m. we left to the hospital. We were there like at 7 minutes rather than 11.
So the car ride was not bad then.
Yeah, no, it was easy. We came in, immediately. I was getting prepped for labor room. Doctors started, connecting me and everything, and I was, nurses came, and I was already 9 centimeters dilated.
So how did that feel once you found this out?
Oh, that was
Were you surprised? Were you like, did you expect it, or like, did you have an idea of how far along you were already?
no, because in December, in what in the in December, on Friday, I was 2 centimeters already.
Okay.
And I felt, that things were opening, but and I think that acupuncture had a lot with it. But I was really visualizing that I was gonna have a very easy birth, and that everything was gonna be fine, and I was gonna be like
Like the
easy
opening.
peasy. Exactly. Like I was really, really, really positive about everything, but I was like, okay, this is me thinking what I really want. I'm being extremely positive. Like, but when I came into the hospital and they told me I was 9 centimeters already, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is amazing. I'm gonna be able to have a natural birth, everything.
So at no point, like, did you think, like, once you got to the hospital and like the situation kind of changed, right? Because now it became medical, you were being monitored. Like, normally they ask if you want an epidural. Did you have a moment of doubt where you were like, maybe, I don't know? Or you
Yes.
were like, I'm so far along that I will do it?
No, obviously I had that. I had that because I was so tired still that I
Right.
had to push, because I wanted, like the epidural was negotiable. The natural birth, I know, like, at a point that had to be done, I just had to do it, but I did really wanted a natural birth because, I wanted to have the whole experience, and I wanted to feel all the every stage,
Yeah.
and I felt very prepared to do it. So I really wanted to go away with it.
And
So what?
how did you stay focused in the hospital with like all the distractions? Like, did you listen to the recordings, or like did Maria help you with the breathing, or Jose, or?
Well, Jose was great. He was all the time with me, and Maria and Jose were always with me in the
Good
room.
team.
They then no, it was very funny because when I went to the labor room, the doctor was gonna come in, and I did not know what, it's a surprise what doctor you get. And a practice where they were all women and there were 8 doctors, and I had met all of them. And obviously, you kind of get chemistry with one more than another. And guess which one came in?
The one you wanted.
No, the
No?
last one.
Oh my God! I thought we were visualizing, like you actually got the doctor you wanted.
No. The doctor was this. I like this. She looked like 13-year-old. She was
right. Okay.
told me, she said like that the baby's stomach was that was little, and it was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. She's here and now I have to deal with her. I was like, okay, can either go good or go all wrong. So let's just try to manage the situation. Then, the doctors and the doulas, they have their own, like,
yeah, sometimes there's an interesting dynamic there.
Yeah, they don't have the same right, like they have a rivalry kind of. They just think they're competing with each other, and that one will kind of win the battle when they're
sometimes there's a bit of ego involved. Yes.
And it also depends on the practice and everything. So I was very focused on that. I needed my team, my birthing team, that was the nurse is more important than the doctor, because the nurse is going to be there all the time.
That's
I needed
right. Thank you for saying that. I think people don't understand that. They think their doctor's going to come in. The doctor comes in when you're pushing. That's it.
Catch the baby, but if you don't have a really good relationship with your nurse and you really don't, establish those grounds since the very beginning, it's not, nothing.
Yeah.
Because they're in 6 other births, at the same time.
Right.
The doctor, they're rotating. So it was very important for the relationship with the nurse, and it was not an easy start, because Maria and the nurse did, they were not friendly at the very beginning, and I was like, okay, I have to make
Wait, do you mind sharing which hospital were you in again? Was it Loma?
Yeah. Langon in 31st.
And Langon. Okay.
So NYU Langon, which is amazing, was the nurses were amazing. Like it was, I believe it's a lot, the energy that you put into the situations and the patients, and believing in what you have to do, and that convincing yourself that things are gonna go that way. Sometimes they don't, but at least the attitude that you put into, very important, not only for you, for the baby and for everybody around you, and how you're determining the center of the movie at that moment.
Yeah. But it's amazing to me that, like, you were in the thick of it, all of this is going on around you, and you remembering everything, right? Because now you were aware, and people sometimes think like you're not aware when you're in labor, but you were telling that you were aware of what was going on around you. You could feel yeah, I know. It's amazing.
I had a huge back. My husband always it's like she had like the biggest bag, because I was like so prepared. I had snacks, like what I wanted to eat, like what I wanted to crave at that moment. What I was in, like my good socks, like my pillow, like comfy, but like made me feel like home, and so we ended up. It was a very magical moment, because we got to a point, and it was it was a lot of hours, and there was a complication in another birth, so the doctor had to be away longer than expected. Sasha was born at 2:16 on the 29th of May.
And you arrived, you said, at 7 a.m. at 9 centimeters. Okay, so it took a while. Okay.
It took a while. So while we were there, I had a lot of time to kind of make them to become friends. So it was the nurse was from Russia, or from so and Sasha's grandmother is from Russia, so we started like the connection there, and then it was more like we are all in the same team, and then we were sharing stories, and then it was more amicable every time, and I was sharing them and telling them how important was my preparation, and they understood,
but I think it's what's really kind of striking to me is that people expect you're in labor, you're in so much pain, you cannot do anything else. But the truth is, you can have normal conversations, right,
Yeah.
in between your surgeries. And especially, I think hypnobirthing really facilitates that.
Yeah.
When I was in labor with Riley, between the surgeries, I was just like talking normally, you
Yes.
know? And then my midwife at some point, because I was so kind of aware, I remember she said something like, you're not letting go. And I was like, no, I am. I'm actually doing well. And then eventually I asked her to check to see how far along I was. And she was like, oh, wow, okay, you're like progressing.
Yeah.
She thought I was still in early labor because I was talking calmly. So I think it's amazing for people to see that, yes, you can be 9 centimeters and talk in between your contractions, right?
There's a lot of fear, like there's a lot of like fear about the unknown of what's gonna happen. And you hear stories, and I remember
Yeah.
people coming to me like when I was very far along, I was like, this happened to. I'm like, listen, if it's something negative, I don't want to hear it. I am
Yeah.
trying to
Smart.
get the best out of it, and we talked about it in one of your classes. Like just avoid any negativity because you don't have, if you don't make room for that, it won't be room.
Right. You don't want to
You,
take this on and carry it with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be able to control it in a way that that you could certainly like be able to manage it and make things better.
So, like with the pushing, so you got to, obviously, to fully open. Like, did you wait till you felt the urge to push, or did they kind of guide you through the pushing? Because the doctor wasn't there, so could you do what you wanted, or?
Well, she first she taught me how to push, how it's gonna be, how it was going to be, and how at the beginning was not fully, because you're not letting go. I think that's something that you think you're pushing, and then you're not really pushing because you've never done it before. So it's
So they wanted you to do like the hospital pushing, where like they count and you're on your back and all of that, right?
yes. Well, not really, because I had
Okay.
told them so much about my experience and how I wanted it, and I was so organized. Like my bag had 4 different folders. It's a little bit crazy. I completely.
I mean, it is like very like controlling, yet you were able to have an unmedicated birth. So
I don't want people to ask me anything at that moment because
right,
I don't know how I'm going to be reacting. I don't know if I'm going to be
right,
so much in pain that I want to be screaming, or I'm going to be sedate. I don't know what's going to happen. So I want to be able to have all the answers for anyone. So I prepared 4 different folders with my insurance card, with my driver license, with my birth plan, with my like everything that they were. And I gave one to my husband, I gave one to my mother, one to my doula, one to the doctor. Like there's everything that you need to
So
know.
so then they were able to read your birth plan.
Yes, yes.
Cool.
So it was easy. It was it was something I did not want to have any students visiting, because I wanted to have my zen and my I wanted to have not a lot of like bright lights, because I don't know what time was gonna be, and it would not be that comfortable coming into this world with hospital lights. They're horrible.
Yes, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
It's like no, like no. So I wanted something like like calmer. I wanted him to come into like that the moment that he came to life, like he was born, he was happy and nice environment, and I did all nothing, no drugs, no nothing, to be able to have the best preparation and health wise. So the rest
And your doctor, because we keep on saying like she's young and stuff. She was okay with that. She let you do
was
that.
amazing. Yeah, she was. She turned out to be
That's
again.
cool.
Like I was super, like I was just doubtful and not, yeah, no, I was not that convinced, and but it was me, like
Yeah,
she
of course.
I only met her once, so if I kept on like predisposing myself that it was gonna be hard, it was gonna be, she was too young, like I was gonna make things difficult, like so I just had to like listen. It is what it is, things happen for a reason, and like the universe gave her to me today, so I have to just learn to manage it, and she was amazing. We had the greatest conversation, because I gave her the chance to kind of, navigate that, and I was in a very good mood, and that, as I said, there was no place for negative moments and stuff, and visualization helped a lot, and
That's amazing.
you know, like, but I mean, I was very lucky, you know, I was very lucky. I'm not, I don't think that every birth is like this,
Of
you know.
course.
My friends and very close friends, and that had very much complications in giving birth, but I
Yeah.
do believe that having tools like hypnobirth, having a tool like a doula, having, you know, these other tools that you as a mother can help
Yeah.
improve your experience. First of all, doesn't hurt.
Right.
Second of all, can help you not only giving birth but continue to have a you know, more control about like breathing. And it's you know, since I started, hypnobirth has become big in my life. I kept on doing yoga, not prenatal yoga, but you know, the like real yoga, and my teacher is, you know, she's a breathing instructor, so I use breathing for to go to sleep, to
I
whenever
was, I was talking to my class on Monday, and I was telling them that Riley is, she's going to turn 2 in August, and that we're starting to have tantrums a little bit and moments where she just has those really big emotions, and it's like you can't really do anything about it. You just have to kind of like let it pass, and then how like the calming breath is helpful, as a mother in those moments. Like it's so helpful to just like stay focused when your child is like so.
okay. Give me 1 second. Espérate, que espere 5 minutos. Yo ya voy a terminar. ¿Quieres ir tú?
Somebody needs you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, so yeah, it's, you know, it's not, it's, I'm not, as like, again, I was very lucky, and I had
Mm-hmm.
and you know, and breathing, as I said, it's now a part of my life, because it helps me, and I did, and I wanted to do hypnobirth, and I found out about it because I started reading for the techniques, and other tools that could help
Mm-hmm.
me, help myself,
Yeah.
pregnancy, and
And how was, like, because I know Jose took the class, like how was he during the birth? Like was he
I mean,
okay? Like
he was great. He was always very reluctant to cut the umbilical cord, because
I think it's common. I think it's common because it is a funny kind of thing, right? It's like,
yeah,
I understand.
he was very, you know, he was like, amazing. He was like always super in control. Like he was not, he would never, he's not emotional, and whenever he's nervous, he's very, you know, very I am not. So so
So
I
you're a good team.
had to be like, I freak out, he was gonna freak out worse. So I was like, I have to be very much in control so everything goes well. And it was great. He was amazing. He was there all the time.
Awesome.
He cut the umbilical cord. Yeah,
Eventually, okay.
he's super into everything. He changes the diaper. He has, you know, he has a great relationship with Sasha in terms of, you know, doing everything that I do as well.
So, and like, so how was your postpartum? How was your transition? Like, do you have any tips for the women like watching us today that maybe are about to give birth? Like, what's your best tip for?
Well, you know, first of all, it's hard for everyone to, like, the after having a baby, to go back to your normal life, because things change. So starting from that statement, you know, things are not how they used to be. So you have to l- let yourself, you know, kind of balance, and adapt also to the situation. And even when you're already a mother, having a second child, it's a new thing for
Yeah.
everyone. So, you know, it's part of giving yourself time, and part of a journey to accept, and to plan how do you want to live your life moving forward, being a mother, and how are you going to balance it. And, you know, maybe you have to learn how to, you know, like, balance your time and distribute your time in more effective ways.
Yeah,
Then
that's what I found out too. Yeah.
work smartly, but also whenever I have Sasha go to soccer from on Wednesday, and that's our day. You know, I have help at home. We have a great nanny, and she helps me with a lot. And but that day is my day, and she's not involved, and I go with him to soccer, and that
Yeah.
I don't have meetings, I don't have calls, I don't have like that's my time with him. Everything can work, can wait, and everything can wait. You know.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Like I have some help too part time during the week, but the days I'm with Riley, right? And then when with her, I just my attention is on her, and I
Yeah.
like the fact that I'm able to kind of juggle all this because I feel like as a mom, I'm able to have the different parts of my life fulfilled, and
Yeah.
then not be too stressed or too tired. When I'm with her, and I can still do the rest, which that was the biggest kind of lesson. And I agree with you, it's like so
Yeah.
important to split everything like that.
Yes, you know, it's. I'm not telling you that it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's completely doable, and you can organize it. And it's everybody has their own timing on how to getting organized.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, it's a lot of ingredients that they have to get together in order to get back at it. To be able to, it's not easy to be a working mother. It's not easy to be, and you have to kind of be full and everything, but not do it full time,
Yeah.
and manage to be there when even when you're not there.
Mhm.
So thanks to the technology and everything, we have managed to FaceTime and to see them, and and that I try to sleep Sasha every single day,
Yeah.
uh, and that's something that is religious for me, and and he's used to me. He's used to not like seeing me a lot, and whenever I have very busy days, he misses me. So I try to organize my days that when I have a very busy day, the next day I take the whole the morning off, and it's gonna be fine. I can manage. I can
Yeah, yeah.
organize it, and I will just work harder or later on the afternoon. So it's a challenge. It's a beautiful challenge to have.
But
Uh,
yeah, thank you for sharing all this, because I think it's interesting to see that, you're a planner, you're kind of like type A, and despite that, you were able to have a birth where you were able to let go and trust the process. And, it's always interesting to see how people come from like different angles, and
yeah,
how like this is still helping you now as a mother. And I
yeah.
wanted to talk about this briefly. I know you have to go. If anyone has questions, you can ask us now. But I wanted to ask you, because you would know as one of the top real estate agents in the city, right? Is New York coming back? I mean, I believe it is, right? I have faith that New York is coming back after the pandemic. What have you found out?
Well, New York, it's very much alive. If you go out in the streets, if you go out this
Yeah,
weekend, it's the energy has changed. It's lively. There's a younger crowd of people coming to live back in the city because uh, prices and rental prices were very very attractive in the past month. So people were able to lock and be able to go to the city. The city that they were always dreaming about living in someday. There was a lot of opportunities that caught people's eye and attention, and they're coming back. There's
like on
also
average, would you say like how much lower are the rents compared to like pre-COVID?
Oh my God, no! They're so much stronger than they used to be. The concessions they're being eliminated.
Huh.
There are few concessions as much every day passes, and there's less concessions. There's less negotiability. Um, Schools are starting in September, and they are requiring kids to be present. So
Right.
that's changing. Offices are coming back. Everything is reopening, and the fact that there's a lot of vaccination sites, and people are traveling to New York just to get vaccinated. Um,
Yeah.
and people are, New Yorkers. I'm very proud to say that I feel safer, in
Right.
New York than in. I have not traveled that much. I only visit. I've left once to visit my grandmother in Colombia, and unfortunately the situation and and the lack of information or organization, it's very sad because it's leading to a lot of more infections and and that's sad because if people were organized and that's
Yeah.
following New Yorkers and how they've been proceeding and 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 acting, it just is making it's really showing up. And I'm very firm believer that New York is going to be fully back. It's July 1st, everything is officially opening, and I foresee a very busy season. I foresee a lot of
Know that you've
things.
been busy, so I'm sure that you know.
It's been, I am very, yeah, I'm very bullish about the real estate market, how everything's gonna come back very strongly, and it's going to be very interesting, very interesting. I'm very excited too for the next couple of months because I stayed in New York through the bad and worst,
Yes, us too.
and I am a, and I love my New York, and I'm looking forward to to see it in the next few months.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. So you're coming back to the city next week, probably?
Yes, I'm gonna be in the city next week. We're celebrating Sasha's birthday this weekend, and we will be back in the city, fully working.
Yeah, we should try to meet up because they're so close in age. It would be fun.
I know. I
We'll
will
drag
be.
you to Brooklyn.
Yes, absolutely. No, I would love that. Let's plan. Let's definitely plan that. We would love to for them to meet.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming today. I won't keep you any longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Maeva. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your, your the great experience, because it was really something that I brag about and I always share with my friends, and it was a very important tool for me that I will use again if I ever plan a second one. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, and have a
Big
great
hug.
weekend.
You
Bye.
too.